everyone, so this is session 2 of exam prep. What we're going to be going through today is about how to, again, carrying on how to answer the questions, understanding what the external assessment is about, and you're going to look at some key terms today and keywords, okay? So, as we've previously said, external assessments are not a test of understanding, they are simply a measurement of how well the question is answered, and we made that clear last session. We discussed the fact that if you can give a good argument surrounding specific topics, you're going to get rewarded for that, even if, you know, it's not necessarily something that we've learned in class, but you've maybe heard it on the news, etc., and you decide to put that point across. It shows the examiner that you are researching, that you understand the topic well. So again, it's how well we are measuring and answering those questions. So what is the most important aspect of doing well in an exam? Understanding what the question is asking of you. We have spoke about that. This is a typical exam question that you might get asked. So firstly, what I want you to do is just have a quick read through. So I'll read out as well, and then I want you to just take a minute to read it too. So Beatrice is 46 years old and is married to Patrick, who is aged 48 years. They have 3 children, Roxy, who's aged 20, Annabelle, who is aged 17, and Mary, who is aged 13. Outline 4 physical changes that should happen to Mary during this life stage. So what I would like you to do is just take a second, so just take a minute, even if you just pause the PowerPoint for a minute, just close it down for a sec, and just have a go at answering that question. So reading through it and answer that question, please. Okay, so now I'm hoping that you've taken a minute just to read through the question and to make sure that some of the points that you've put down does link to what is being asked of you, okay? So hopefully you've got your 4 points there. I'm not going to ask these off you today, but it's just for you. So we're going to have a little. So award 1 mark for each physical aspect, and you can obviously award up to 4 marks because that was what the question asked. Sorry, that's what the question was going to give you. So here are the different things that you could potentially have answered with. So she was 13, so we need to consider that. And it also said physical changes. So we know physical is something to do within the body, okay? So we've got breasts, menstrual cycle, also known as period, hips begin to widen, acne spots, increase in height or weight, change in hormones, and there's a few others there. So if you've got any of these, just tick them off. Don't forget you can have them in other terminologies as long as it links to the topic. So it does say e.g. breasts, so you know, if you put it in a different term, that's completely fine, you can get a mark for that. And it does say at the bottom, accept any other appropriate answer. So depending on what you might have put, so if you have put something else and you're querying it and you're not sure whether to gain a mark, you can send me it and I'll let you know. It does say at the bottom, do not accept puberty or growth spurt. That's because it's not specific, okay? So through puberty and your growth spurt, it's not very specific what you're talking about. That's why you need to be very specific, and you can see how detailed these answers are, especially in relation to release of eggs, which is also known as ovulation. So it's important you are putting the specific terms. This learner has gained 0 marks, and what error has this learner made? So let's have a little look. Outline 4 physical changes that should happen to Mary during her current life stage. So we know that she was 13. Okay, so have a little quick look now. What errors has she possibly made? Okay, so hopefully you will all have noticed that the life stage that they've considered isn't the correct one for Mary. So we know that Mary's 13, so this is very, very unlikely to happen. So what they have done is they've looked at a different name and age next to it. It's a common mistake. That's why we're telling you to make sure you are reading the questions properly. Sorry. They put grey hairs, wrinkles, weaker bones, bent back. That is not going to happen to Mary at 13, okay? How many marks would this answer receive then? What do you think? They've got some good answers there. Okay, so you have got a worksheet that you need to complete while you are doing this part of the PowerPoint that you're going to be using moving forward for the rest of the different activities, okay? So what I would like you to do now is get the worksheet up. So it's maybe open up in another document so we can start filling these in afterwards, okay? RBUG, this is going to be what you need to remember when you go into an exam, okay? What I would advise when going into the exam is when you get your spare piece of paper, writing this down and writing down the different elements, okay? You might remember it. If you can, that's perfect. A lot of our students who did do the exams found this relatively easy to remember and use the process throughout. So, then, read. Reading the question is key. When you read that question, notice what it is asking you to do. So previously, we've just seen on the previous slides that the person was asked in regards to Mary, who was 13 years old, what her physical changes were. Yes, they've looked at some physical changes. No, you can't have the likes of grey hair because grey hair can happen at any life stage, so never ever put that for one. But they've picked a completely wrong stage as well, so it's irrelevant to the question. So reading the question is key. Box the command words that is being asked of you. So we've looked at command words, we looked at that last session. Think back to the command words we've looked at previously, as I've just said, and a command word will always, always, always appear and be used in each question, okay? So you will never get a question without one of those command words. So describe, explain, assess, evaluate, all of these different words will be available. So you need to make sure you box that, just simple little box around that word. So if for some reason your mind goes blank and you need to look back, you'll be able to see exactly what it's asking you to do. Underline those key words. So keywords are usually content words, so physical or emotional. So within that question that we just had then, you might underline when it's stating physical. Underlining the keywords will assist you when answering questions as well. So again, if you are, going into exams can be quite daunting, and I know that personally as well. If you go into an exam and you're halfway through the exam and you think, oh my God, what is it asking me to do? I'm not too sure. You've underlined it. Take a second to just think back and go, right, this is what it's asking me to do. By underlining it will make you read the question again, but make you understand what it's asking you to do and how you need to answer it as well. And then we've got glance. We spoke about this previously as well. Glance at the mark available on the question. This will allow you to analyse how much time must be spent. Glancing at the question will also allow you to be aware of the number of points that you need to give if it's not stated. So this is how they catch it out sometimes. On a 4-mark question, they may say to you, what are the physical changes? But they might not say, give 4 physical changes. They might just say, what are they? Yeah, what are the changes to Mary, for example? Let's think back to that one. And it's got 4 marks at the bottom. That is telling you to put at least 4 different physical changes, okay? If you know more than 4, put them down, that's perfect. If you can only think of 4, amazing. If you are really struggling, put down as many as you can, but always try and aim for that 4, okay? And if you've got 4 marks, you've got around 4 minutes to answer the question as well. Yeah, try and not take that long. Try and take a little bit less, maybe about 2 minutes of that. Depends how you are in the exam. Again, we don't know how you might feel on the day, how you can understand the question that's being asked, but just consider how long it's asking. Just consider the marks and then how long it is to take from that. It's the same for all points as well. So 2 marks, 2 points, 4 marks. Sorry, that should say, oh yes, so 2 points and 2 reasons. So for example, you might get explain the physical changes of Mary. So you may say, Mary may go through puberty. This is because blah, blah. That's 2 points. Then you will put another one, Mary's breasts may grow. This is because blah, blah, blah. That's another 2 points. That's 4 marks in total, okay? So again, this is how they can catch it out sometimes. Make sure you look at that mark, okay? Because the mark will give you an idea of how many points to provide. Okay then, so reviewing again, this is looking back at it, you might look back at it differently. So what I would like you to do is on the worksheet, if you can just consider where you will box, where you underline, and just consider the different keywords, okay? Okay, so now what we're going to do is have a go at testing our knowledge, okay? So we've done some content work now, and what I would like you to do is have a little go at answering this next question. So the question is available on your worksheet that I would like you to complete, and you are going to upload this afterwards, okay? So what is the following question asking you? Explain 2 gross and 2 fine motor skills that Peter is expected to develop over the next 18 months. We've covered this briefly. We should have covered this by now. If you are struggling, you can do a little bit of research. You know, it's not asking you to do it by yourself. But what I would like you to do is go through the RBUG process and answer the question. You are going to upload, and I can give a little bit of feedback from that. So just pause the PowerPoint now, close it down for a minute, and answer the question, please. Okay, so you should have all now answered the question. We've got one more activity to do, and then you are going to upload your worksheets for today, please. So, again, when you are absent, it is important to be catching up. But what we need to understand is how you're feeling right now. What I need to understand anyway, not everyone else, just me. When you're absent, as I just said, you do need to catch up, and this is going to help you make sure you are covering all the elements on the content pages. So you know, you can check with your classmates, or you can check with me what you've missed. All the PowerPoints will be uploaded. But that doesn't mean to say that you're not going to be struggling with specific topics and specific areas. And if you are, that is completely fine. You just need to let me know. You've got a RAG rating sheet that I would like you to complete now. Put as much detail on it as possible. It's on that Word document as well. So we're going to be thinking about assessing your own progress so far. You know, what area you're most comfortable with and what area have you found struggling, because moving forward now it is going to get a little bit more in depth, so it is important to make sure we are all on the same page. So again, once you finish that, upload the document, and thank you for today, and see you soon.